Well, good morning. Hello. This is Willie, and we're here at Willie's Garage. Making a video for the first time. Just playing around with some things. I've got an old Boxer that I picked up about a year ago, and I've been using some of the YouTubes that are out there to try to put it back together. The Boxer that I had is 1974, and it's an R90S. Give you a little look there. It's rough, and if you look down below, you can see that the concrete in the garage has oil stains. So the thing that I'm going to tackle today are the oil stains. Well, not the oil stains necessarily, but the source of those stains. I've been riding the bike. I've had it together for a while now, and I've put about 1,000 miles on it, but in all of those rides, I'm beginning to notice that there's weeping in the engine, and I'm losing some oil. Here, I'll try to show you guys, in a couple of places. So if you take a look down here, and I can't really see what you can see, but I've got oil along the side here. And I also have oil that is showing up down here on the center stand, and only on this one leg. And so a little research, a little homework. One of my problems is up here, and it is the oil pressure switch. And it's 51 years old right now. And so it's starting to leak and just weep oil here and there in different places, and it gets back along the transmission case. But underneath, in the neutral safety switch, it also is 50 some years old, and it is leaking oil, and I can see that because of the type of oil that's on the center stand. So I ordered some parts. Order a lot from a couple of sources. You guys probably do the same. Order from Boxer 2 Valve, and those guys are really great. Good tech help too. Talked to a couple of guys in the tech center, and they're able to give you a little guidance. Also order from Duro Moto Electrics. Those guys have been pretty quick to respond and send out some nice parts. So I'm going to try to replace these things today. Let's go over by the bike. Now, back here, you can see the oil pressure switch right where my finger is, and it appears to have like a spade connector to it. You can see all the oil coming off, and that's why we need to replace this. I'm going to get some tools, and we're going to see what we can do. Okay, we're going to start off and see if we can get this out. I've got a pan in case we've got to catch some oil, and I don't know if let's try to get this spade connector off. Try by pulling it. There we go. That was easy enough. Move that to the side. All right, this might be the tallest deep well that I have. And I'm not so certain that, let's see what happens here. Get a better angle. There. And when you know, camera rolling. Let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah. Now, I'm not sure we're going to lose oil. Changing the oil in this is actually one of the things I'm going to do later in the day, but I think most of you guys know how to do that. Let's get the new part. And if you look, there is a small ring that's in it. I asked about the seal for this, and they said it is built in. So we're going to thread that back in. Apparently I should have changed the oil or emptied the oil before I attempted this, but as you can see from my garage floor, it's already a little messy. Okay. Put this in and just snug it up. It's aluminum. You don't want to torque it too much. All right. Now I'm looking at the old one, and you can hear the guys in the recycle bin. So life goes on. It's just a regular day. You can see the old one. It's been around for a while. I don't know that it was bad. Doesn't appear to be bad, but it was starting to weep oil all around the ends, and you can see a little brass fitting here. And so maybe it would have been okay if I just torqued it a little more, but it's a relatively inexpensive part, and it feels like it was relatively easy to change. So we're just going to go with new, because I don't like when things leak. Let's clean that up a little bit. And we got to reconnect our spade connector. Let's wipe that off. You know, one of the things that people say is a real problem with leakage, and that you want to check first. We've done these before. These push rod tubes are prone to leaking, but mine are new because I had the cylinders and heads redone, and I put an all new gasket set in. So for the moment, mine is not leaking. Slide that back on, and I think I'll be good to go. Now I'll do some further cleanup later on, but right now that piece looks to be complete. The next job is a bigger job. Now I'm going to have to probably take the oil out of this, because I figure the oil's going to come out of it one way or another, because the neutral safety switch happens to be right here. Now, let me drop this down and maybe you'll be able to see it. Maybe you'll be able to see back there if I shine a light. I think you can see the drain plug, but if you look further, there's a drain plug. Look further back, you've got the neutral safety switch. And the problem with removing these right here. So what we're going to have to do is drain this, which is fine. I've got 1,000 miles on it. It's sat for 12 years. I got 1,000 miles of wear out of this oil. So all the gooey, bad stuff should be stirred up. It should be easy to remove. And then, so we'll drain that. And then we'll pop that. And see how easy it is to get that back in. We're going to have to support this. But this little rod, I believe this rod will come out. I believe there's something that will come out right here. So we'll be able to get to this. Size 8 millimeter goes in here. And we're going to loosen that if I get off of it. There we go. And I'm guessing there won't be much of anything that runs out of this. But if we release this and allow air through, there's a little. There's a little bit of fluid coming out of that. And like I said, we're going to remove this because I'm almost certain it would be the same effect if we were to take out the bottom drain. Now, that's not good in my opinion. That looks like a lot of gunk. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I am really happy that we're changing this. And I'll give that a thorough cleaning. We'll give that a thorough cleaning before that goes back in. Let's let that drain. Because I believe what's got to happen, so I've got to take these off to get back into there. That bolt, it won't drop Okay, so that's loose. I think that's about as far as I want to go for that right now. Until I clean this up. Come up here and take a look at this. I don't really like that. Now you can see all kinds of little crud in there. And it looks like a large part of it is metal. That's not good. So let's clean that up really good. And then we'll get it back inside. Oh my goodness. That just doesn't look good. The thing I like about it is, the only thing I like about it, is that that's a magnetic drain plug. And being a magnetic drain plug, it should capture all the evil that floats around in that transmission. But it just looks like there was a lot of evil. Oh yeah, that's not good. Look at all that silver. Mm. My goodness. Well, like I said, this is serving two purposes. Not only are we fixing a leak, we've run the oil about 1,000 miles. And I'll come back and clean all of these one more time. We'll spray it down and give it a nice brush. This is not a show bike by any stretch of the imagination. You probably saw that from the first pictures. She's a rider. But I do like it to look decent. So we want to make sure we look decent. Don't over torque these. Again, you're dealing with aluminum. All right. There is that. I'm not going to put the fill plug in so that I remember to put oil back in. We'll take a good look at that oil. When we get it up on the bench. All right, so I need to put some sort of support under this motor. So I'm going to bring a floor jack over. And we'll put a piece of wood on it. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what you can see. I don't think that's going to work. Let's see. Maybe if we set it this way, we get it up a little bit. I just need to take pressure off of this. See, I'm going to have to pull the bolt that runs through with the motor. And so we're going to, okay, that's just against it right now. And I'm going to work on this bolt. We'll see if we can tap that through. I gotta tap that through. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap this. Try to tap this straight through. Now, we got a couple of things to deal with. We got the exhaust hanger, we got the foot peg. We've got a foot peg on the other side as well. Now, if one side goes through easier than the other, I don't know that. But we're just gonna tap it through because we have to, we've got to rest. Let's see, is this up? We've got to rest the motor on that jack so that we can take out this piece of metal. So this might be a little more complicated, but okay, there's the exhaust hanger and there's the footrest. What are we hung on? Maybe I've got that jack too tight. Let's drop it down just a wee bit. See if I can tap that through. I just don't like how tight that is. Ah. Well, we're hung up over here. All right, I'll show you something not to do. So I'm not a mechanic. What I did not do was remove this. If I remove that and pull this, I won't have tension on it anymore. So remember that next time if you do it. Both sides need to be taken care of. So let me get to that side and then I'll come back. There we go. There we go. All right. Now that I have both of those sides off, maybe I can just tap that through. It may not need to come all the way, but it will at least have to come to that point so that I can get that middle bar out. I'm going to push it through this side and out the other so that we've got a clear field of view. I think you can still see everything. Okay, we've made some progress. Let me go to the other side, pull a bit. That's the piece that we want. And let's see how far we have to go to get it. We may be pretty close to there. Nope, that's not where we go. Now, if we know we need to get that bolt that far, so we're clear, let's see how close we are. I'm just going to jack it up just a hair more to make it easier. There. Now that should be enough. Let's see. Let's see if that's enough to get that out. Aha! Do you see how that moved? That's what we're looking for. Now I've got it jammed up in there. Maybe I can get it from the other side. This isn't so easy to do without a lift. Sounds like a bunch of noise, doesn't it? Hopefully it gets us to where we want to be. Let me go to the other side and there we go. That's the piece we needed out of the way. Now, with that out of the way, let's take a good look and see what we're dealing with. So we got a couple spade connectors in there. I think you can see those. Well, you can sure. Get the camera over, you might be able to see better. But you can see a couple of spade connectors right in here. And let's see if I can show you what we're dealing with. And those shadows are brutal to see in the camera. Okay. You might be able to see things now. Like, oh, I'm probably a little too far. There's one of the spade connectors. The other one's back here. We're going to have to take those off, and shouldn't pull them by the wire. I don't want to destroy them. So we'll get a little screwdriver and we'll try to pop those off. Okay, there's one. I can't see the other one as well. So let me see. This isn't so easy to do without a lift. Now, I didn't want to pull those wires because I don't think those wires are meant to be pulled. Okay. So let's get those out of the way. And then I believe we got to bend these back up. Let's take a look at the new one and let's see what it looks like. It might tell us what needs to happen with these. Okay, so can't really see it. All right, there we go. Here's our neutral switch. This is our new one. The old ones are prone to leaking. And the way that it's been explained to me and what I read is it leaks in and around this seam. The switch itself is still good. But a 50-year-old switch is going to feel a little old. And they eventually deteriorate and they allow oil to seep through there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to replace that. And in this one, the spades are turned up. Maybe it'll help to fold them down. Maybe that's used to replace things, and we'll look at it. I just know I'm not going to be able to get a socket over those with those bent out. We're going to have to bend them up. And I don't know if I'm going to replace this or not. We'll try. I don't know if there's enough room to get a socket and a ratchet in there. And I'm going to venture to guess no. Okay, it actually is a 19 millimeter. And so we're going to try to pop this off. I do believe I need to move those tabs, those little spade connectors down so that I can get a wrench on them. I might have to get some pliers to get in there on that. That's one. Hopefully you can see this. I don't know that you can see it, but I'm taking a screwdriver and pushing through there to bend it. And if I can bend those down, I should be able to get that wrench on it. There. Now let's take this. It's a 19 millimeter. And let's pull that bad boy out. So I don't believe I can get a socket and a ratchet in there. Hard enough to get a wrench. Alright, there we go. Hopefully it doesn't leak oil out. And I don't see any washers. I don't see any fittings. And when I looked it up online, it didn't appear that it required any. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Put that bad boy back in. I'm sorry you can't see. All of that is right here. All that is right there. And you can see I'm just spinning that in. Now, we'll have to torque it up. And I'm guilty of not checking for torque specs, but and we're working with aluminum. We want to be mindful of not manhandling everything. Because it is a soft metal. And we appear to be making progress. Boy, it just seems like maybe you could put a socket in there, but as much as you fight with moving around in these things, sometimes it's better just to use a wrench. What are we doing? Let's see. We're still threading, still threading. Oh yeah, now we're getting close. Now we're getting close. Boy, I tell you, getting this wrench, couldn't find my 19 millimeter standard box. So I use a 19 millimeter tubing. Still 19 millimeters, but it doesn't like going on.